the door!
In the middle of Washington, D.C. stands one of the most heavily guarded buildings in the world, the White House. But just how tight is its security? From secret bunkers underground, snipers on the roof, advanced surveillance systems, to defense measures unknown to most people, let's discover the security measures used to protect the home of the President of the United States. But before we start the discussion, I just want to ask you one thing. Please like and subscribe to our channel. This is a huge help for us content creators, so let's get started. Infrared sensors. In the morning, it seems like you can only see trees around the White House. But when night falls, it's a different story behind the scenes, hidden from the public. Aside from cameras and armored security guards, the White House security network uses various advanced sensors. These are designed to detect any suspicious movement inside and around the compound. The purpose of this is to easily detect any possible threat before it even gets close to the building itself. According to reports about the security of the White House and the United States Secret Service, part of its defense is the use of technologies that can monitor wide areas at any time. Because of this, simply hiding in the dark or behind plants is not enough to avoid the watchful eyes of the security personnel. The entire area is protected by interconnected sensors, surveillance equipment, and alert systems that are constantly monitoring. If any unusual movement is detected, the security personnel can be alerted within just a few seconds. It may sound funny, but not all alarms are caused by people. There are times when birds, squirrels, or other small animals are the reason why security personnel are suddenly alerted. But for them, it's better to be cautious with every signal than to ignore a possible danger. Because of the combination of people and modern technology, the White House remains one of the most secure buildings in the world. Surface-to-air missiles. The White House doesn't just guard the ground. Even the sky above it is part of one of the strictest security zones in the United States. Because of the importance of the White House as the home and official residence of the President of America, security strictly controls the airspace around Washington, D.C. Pilots must follow special regulations and designated routes to avoid entering the restricted airspace. If an aircraft violates these rules, it is immediately detected by radar and other monitoring systems. Usually, air traffic controllers and security personnel try to contact it to determine the situation. If the pilot does not respond or continues to approach the restricted area, the military may take more serious action. In the past, the United States has deployed fighter jets several times to intercept and escort aircraft out of restricted airspace that accidentally or intentionally entered restricted airspace. The government does not release the exact details of all the defenses surrounding the White House. However, officials have confirmed that there are air defense capabilities in place in the region to protect the Capitol against threats from the air. In other words, even before a potential threat gets close to the White House, there is a high possibility that it has already been detected by the sensors, radar, and defense network guarding the air defense. Drone-proof technology. In early 2015, the authorities were surprised when a small drone crashed right inside the White House. In the pre-dawn darkness, Secret Service officers combed the White House grounds after this drone crashed into a tree on the South Lawn at 3 a.m. According to reports from authorities in the United States, it was not immediately detected while it was in the airspace. This caused a major security concern. Although it was proven that the owner of the drone was not a terrorist or a criminal, the incident served as an important warning. It showed that while there is strict control over airplanes and helicopters, there is a new kind of threat that needs to be prepared for. Since then, there have been significant changes in the anti-drone capabilities of the White House and other sensitive government facilities. Security agencies now use more advanced radar, radio frequency detectors, and other technologies that can quickly detect drones even before they get close to restricted airspace. There are also special units focused on monitoring unmanned aircraft. At a time when a small drone can carry a camera, surveillance equipment, or other devices, it has become an important part of the modern security of the White House. Vehicle barriers. Around the White House, you will notice various steel and concrete barriers positioned at the main entrances and roads. Although they may seem like ordinary parts of the area's design, they are actually one of the most important defenses of the compound. These barriers are designed to stop vehicles that could be used in attacks. At high speeds, even an ordinary car or truck can become a dangerous weapon. Because of this, many checkpoints and protective barriers have been set up to make sure that no vehicle can easily get close to the building itself. Over the years, security around the White House has become even tighter. The restricted areas for vehicles and even for pedestrians were expanded to add more distance between the public and the main building. They may not be as noticeable as missile systems or high-tech sensors, but every day they serve as a silent defense against one of the most common types of security threats. Food testers. According to reports about presidential security protocols, the food served to the President of the United States goes through strict inspection. From sourcing the ingredients to preparing the meals, there are many processes in place to minimize any risk of contamination or sabotage. People who have access to the presidential kitchen are also strictly screened. The chefs and other staff who prepare the food undergo thorough background checks and security clearances before they are allowed to work at the White House. Although there are many opinions about presidents using food tasters, there is very little official information released by the government about the exact procedures they use. What is clear is that food safety is among the highest priorities of presidential security. In a place where every detail matters, even a simple meal is considered part of the broader protection system surrounding the most powerful office in America, screening process. According to the rules of the White House Visitor's Office and the United States Secret Service, those who wish to visit must submit a request several weeks before the scheduled tour. Registering early provides enough time for the necessary security screening. Before a visit is approved, the authorities check the information of the visitors to ensure that it is safe to let them enter one of the most important buildings in the country. This is why the process is stricter compared to a typical tourist attraction. Even if the visit is approved, it still doesn't mean that the entire White House is open for the public to see. There are only limited areas that visitors can go to, while many parts of the building remain closed. Because of security reasons and government operations, there is also a strict list of prohibited items that cannot be brought inside. Included here are weapons, dangerous tools, and other items that may pose a threat to visitors and government officials. For most tourists, this is simply a guided tour. But behind every visit is an extensive process of screening and coordination aimed at ensuring the White House remains secure while it continues to be open to the public. Bulletproof windows. The White House has more than 100 windows, and many of these are part of the offices and private areas used by the President and his staff every day. Because of this, security planners have long been concerned about how to protect the building from possible attacks from the outside. Over the years, various White House areas have been upgraded with stronger ballistic glass.
Resistant glass ang iba't ibang bahagi.
These special glasses are designed to reduce or prevent damage caused by bullets and other severe impacts. The importance of these protections became clear after several incidents where the White House was shot at from a distance. Despite those incidents, the building's high security features proved that it can provide essential protection while still allowing natural light into the White House. In other words, these windows are not just for the view. They are also a silent but important part of the building's defense. Guard dogs. For many decades, the United States Secret Service has also relied on specially trained dogs to help guard one of the most important buildings in the country. Most of these dogs come from breeds known for their speed, sharp hearing, and ability to follow commands. They undergo intense training with their handlers to handle complex commands before they are allowed to participate in actual operations. Their role is not just to chase possible intruders. They are also used to search for suspicious individuals, inspect areas with security concerns, and assist in quick emergency response. Guard dogs have proven their worth several times, especially in incidents where someone tried to get past security. At the perimeter of the White House, they are often among the first to respond while the human security teams are still on their way. Although they are friendly to their handlers, it's a different story when there's an actual threat. Because of their combination of speed, strength, and training, they remain one of the most effective parts of the White House security system. Roof security. Specially trained counter-sniper teams of the United States Secret Service are part of the White House's protection. Their duty is to watch over the surroundings of the compound and quickly identify any possible threat before it gets close to the president or the building. Sometimes the public can even see them on the roof of the White House and in other strategic positions around the compound. But even though they are sometimes seen, a large part of their job is to observe without being noticed. Most members of these units have undergone intense training. They train in marksmanship, surveillance, and emergency response. They also continue to conduct regular training to ensure they are prepared for various situations, from minor security incidents to serious threats. In a place where every second counts, the personnel on the roof serve as additional security, always keeping a close watch on the surroundings of the White House. The Secret Service, established in 1865, is primarily responsible for protecting the president, vice president, their families, and other important government officials, but their work goes beyond what is seen on television. Before the president attends an event, the Secret Service usually arrives first to inspect the location, study possible threats, and prepare emergency plans in case something unexpected happens. While the president is at the White House, there are agents assigned to different parts of the compound. Some are visible to the public, but many also work behind the scenes as part of the extensive security network. They also continuously train for various emergency scenarios. From security breaches to major national crises, their goal is to ensure they are ready to respond at any time. When the president travels, preparations also include medical teams, emergency equipment, and coordination with local authorities. Every detail is planned to minimize any risk. In the end, the White House may be protected by advanced technology and strong defenses, but the most important element of its security remains the thousands of men and women working day and night to guard the most powerful office in the United States. And the greatest defense of the White House is not just technology or weapons that surround it, but the constant preparation against threats that may come at any time. For a building that plays such a huge role in world history and politics, security never ends. And perhaps that's the reason why the White House remains one of the most protected buildings in the world.